Welcome back to Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3. We're going to go ahead and jump into our death, but not on this side. We're going to go into the Spider Chasm. This is what happens when you jump in without Featherfall. You might recognize this armor as being old. This is the save file from just after we completed the spider, so that we can get the initial dialogue that I skipped through the first time around. It's not game over for us because we still have 3 people who are alive. We're going to go and switch over to them and hop on in after, except with Featherfall on.
Do we have to spend so long poking about down here?
Broken bones.
I'd much rather
Must
be
have fallen.
outside with the sun on my skin.
If you're going to complain, by all means, return topside. You could use the color.
Had to get out of there quickly before the Minotaurs showed up.
Careful. Even the mushrooms down here can't be trusted.
Careful.
Even the mushrooms down here
Even the
can't be
mushrooms
trusted.
down here can't be trusted.
I think Asterian's too close, but this will be good.
Even the mushrooms down here can't be trusted.
I kind of wondered if that'd be close enough, and that's fine. It's funny. I'm really okay with that. That's why I brought extra scroll.
Take you. I need healing. Now!
I don't know why you didn't shoot when I told him the first time to shoot.
Fungal spores. Remain vigilant. We cannot be distracted.
Duergar and Myconid bodies. Someone's been fighting.
More are coming.
Hush. Do you hear it?
They're coming. They're coming.
Tell me I'm not imagining that voice.
No, someone's coming. And someone else wants us to know.
They are coming. You are coming.
Need to keep going.
There's a sword on this body right here. I guess most magic weapons have a slightly bugged status that you can use to your advantage. If you have a summoned creature that can equip a weapon.
Account. Looks like it's been sitting empty a while.
You might have a summoned creature that can equip a weapon, such as a mage hand or a zombie or something. If you attempt to make them manually pick up an item, they won't do it, but they might pick up magic weapons. Let's take a look at this magic weapon. This is the Short Sword of First Blood. Deals an additional 1 to 8 piercing damage to targets that still have all their hit points. This is misleading right here because it does count for the conditional status, which means that this is, as the title says, useful for First Blood. If we wanted to, we could put that on Asterian and have him do fantastic sneak damage, but at the moment he's kind of our crossbow sneak attack. This corpse there, the Executed Deep Gnome, has a crooked wand of fireballs. You can use this to cast a fireball from this broken wand. All very nearby creatures must make a dexterity saving throw. So if I were trying to get out of... I was able to exit out that other menu, but not the menu in front. This is the range of it. Where'd you put it? Oh, did you not pick it up? Oh, that's right, because it closed the pickup option. We wanted to use this. The limited range is literally right there, melee range. Alright, and before we move forward more, we're going to go ahead and morph into a drow. So now this is Shadowheart. It's already hidden during dialogues, so we'll kind of get the look at her. Alright, there's a person right there and one right there. We actually want to talk to this one.
Looks like an ambush.
We want to go ahead and talk to that one in case we don't reveal everybody. Once one of our characters passes a perception check, this main character here will become visible. The cutscene really takes place down here, so even though we are up here, we'll be talking to him from down here. That's because the game thinks we're flanking.
Such depth to the shadows. I don't care what others say about the Underdark. It's beautiful down here.
I spent long enough in the dark. It gets old.
Okay. We want to avoid this guy right there, so we're going to head over this direction. Not that it matters too much, but if you were playing along, well, we got spotted. If you were playing along, you want this guy to be revealed.
What? Gek! Got someone sneaking up on us.
And it looks like we didn't get the right one revealed, so that's why I was sneaking in the first place. The reason why we wanted to reveal them is you can actually trade with them in advance and just pick up their stuff. So the one on the right has arrows, and we could have taken his arrows. This is fine. We're gonna hold up our palms in peace.
What's this? Got ourselves an infiltrator. You drow could be light on your feet. Must have been why you were sent to join the hunt. Praise the Absolute. Did something to upset Disciple Zarel?
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
If you say this one, you get attacked. You can do this one and get regular dialogue. This one's the best dialogue.
Show some respect. I am a true soul.
A true soul? Yes. Should have seen it right away.
A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated.
Well met, madam. Anyway, the hunt's not over yet.
What hunt? Explain yourself.
Tracking a runaway slave, deep gnome. Stole boots from my sergeant. I'm to kill the runaway, but she's holed up with Myconids. Can't get past those rot flowers. They get in your head, make you see things. Half my squad jumped off a cliff, laughing.
He's kind of caught between looking up because he's short, so the game thinks I'm going to be in front of him, but looking down at my character, I've noticed his pupils are just flickering back and forth insanely.
What does this runaway look like?
A deep gnome with boots too good for a slave. That's all I know.
What are you doing with slaves?
Got 'em clearing rubble. We've got orders from Moonrise to reach some old ruins. There's something the Absolute wants tucked away in there. Not that you need me to tell you that.
I'll help you.
Good. Can't let some runt make fools of the Absolute's warriors. Bet a true soul can make those mushrooms choke on their spores. I'll keep watch here. No, might make a run for it.
Alright, and I can kill them now, but we're gonna max out all the dialogue first. We'll kill them after we talk to the town that wants us to dispatch to Duergar. Duergar, if you're not familiar with D&D, I guess we can consider them evil dwarves. You could generally cast See Invisibility to reveal people, but since I don't have that spell right now, we're just gonna throw water bombs. If you hit them with the bottle, you will actually get into a fight. So we want to not hit them with the bottle itself. That's the guy we wanted to reveal because we can take his arrows from him in a trade screen. This is the one we actually got spotted by.
No time for dally.
If you do plan on supporting a town, complete with merchants and everything, against these evil dwarves, you could give yourself an advantage by picking up these corpses. On them are not too much, but I'll show you what they are. So we'll just go ahead and grab the bodies. And that'll come in handy for you later. Alright, one of the reasons why we are going with the drow. These guys become super respectful.
Onward.
Wasn't expecting company like yours, madam.
Madam, you'll want to speak to Gek. He's in charge.
You see how respectful they are?
Both true soul and drow. That slave would jump off a ledge if she knew who was after her.
Trade. Pick up his scroll so we won't use it against us later.
Describe my quarry.
She's just some deep gnome slave. They all look much the same to me. The boots should give her away.
What creatures live in waters this dark?
This one's Novice Garmor. He's slightly lower level than the others. That's probably why he's called Novice, and he doesn't have different dialogue.
Let us start a conversation.
Gek does the talking around here. Bother him.
Oh, and we still want to keep picking up the bodies.
Proceeding.
That one we'll leave behind for a second. This will pay off later. So although it takes me, we'll say, 40 seconds to do this now, it's going to save me more than 40 seconds of combat later. Just trying to grab it before the pop-up showed up. That way I can just drop it right in the pop-up as it appears. Alright, and this last one we can actually cast Speak with the Dead on.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Did you have anything valuable?
Me? No. Gnomes. We're fiddling with rubble. Yonder.
Where did you come from?
Across the Ebon Lake.
What were you doing when you died?
Hunting. Runaway slave.
What was your profession?
Hunter. Warrior. Sworn to the Absolute.
What happened to you?
Myconids made me hurt myself.
The corpse does not stir. It will answer no more questions.
Vlaakith's will be done.
And there's one more thing of note. It's a perception check over here to let you know that this is a pretty good satchel. It looks like we probably already... Did we already pass it? We must have as we were running around. So we get Elixir of the Colossus and Elixir of Vigilance. This one I really like to look up. Drink this to gain a +5 bonus to initiative. In addition, you can't be surprised. Looks like the alert feat, pretty much. With all of that taken care of, we need to head back to the Myconids to discuss the fate of these Duergar.
If not over, then through.
Backtrack the same way we came through. I mean, there are other ways we could do it. But I was deliberating whether or not I should take a detour back to show a golden necklace in a diggable location, but I don't think so. I think we'll just backtrack all the way. And then we'll pick up back to where we left off on the save file pretty soon. If you jump into the Underdark for the first time with Karlach, you get another inspiration. I found that out during my tests of this area. For conversations, I'll be changing my party quite a bit to max out the approval. If you care about doing the same thing, just watch for all the approval markers that pop up. I'll be juggling my characters off camera, so my team may fluctuate in order to maximize how much approval I get.
You are swallowed by a chorus of turbulent music. Through one creature sing many voices, the harmony of an entire collective.
Sovereign, he has come. He is here.
The choir fades. A single melody rises above the others, brassy and commanding.
I am sovereign.
You see a vision. Your lifeless body wrapped in fungal tendrils. The Sovereign is threatening you.
State your purpose.
Focus on the parasite and connect with the Sovereign.
The parasite is quiet. You feel no bond with the creature.
Good to know that these guys are not controlled by the Illithid. We'll seek an understanding and focus on the Sovereign's song.
You detect a distinct quiver in every note. These creatures have experienced recent tragedy.
I sense your fear. I've come to aid you.
Fungal roots weave through your mind, seeking your true intent. Then the Sovereign drones a new melody, cautious but welcoming.
Descend to me. Let us speak in flesh.
The persistent music coaxes you forward. The Sovereign expects you. The corpse twitches in response to the spell, and you note its delicate filaments. It had been merely a child.
Not like I care. Where did you keep your riches?
Like its living counterparts, the corpse speaks in your mind.
Magic. Behind the door.
How do I get past the door to your treasure?
Old ones enter. Sovereign enters. No one else.
What was your role in this circle?
To grow. To know. To be one with the circle.
What was life in the circle like?
Floating, knowing, seeing, hearing, all together, never apart.
How did you die?
Bang. Great wars. Hurt.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
You'd get 20 XP for climbing up here, whether or not you even had that quest.
Damn it all.
We're gonna go ahead and have Lae'zel do this,
Action, not reaction.
because these two will get approval, and you can't get approval with the character you're currently playing with.
Don't.
Her condition is familiar. Poison, derived from a wild weed common to the Underdark. She'll need an antidote soon, most likely held by the poisoner.
Eye her boots, they must be the one Gek wants. If you haven't talked to Gek yet, you get an investigation check instead.
Eyes. To yourself. Ugh.
Take the boots.
No. Please.
They weren't hers to begin with.
Oh.
The Sovereign's thick fingers stroke the corpse at its feet. A droning melody greets you as the creature turns its gaze to you.
Flesh talker. I show you a memory. Watch and listen.
A violent vision grips you. Duergar, dark dwarves chopping Myconid remains.
They broke our peace. They killed our young.
The Sovereign's song slows to the pace of a dirge. It is still in mourning.
We laid waste to many, but intruders remain. Lakewood.
The sovereign song halts as it measures your worth.
I sense your resolve. You will find Duergar invaders near Lake's Edge. Cleanse the rot. Destroy them.
Let us spill blood. Duergar or Myconid, I care not which.
Atta girl, Lazel. So this dude, he's a pretty bad leader. I mean, he's whining about his people dying, but he chose to make this fight happen. Why did those Duergar attack?
Deep purples swirl into familiar shapes. Gnomes in mining gear, chased by Duergar.
The Duergar seek a gnome. It is a guest.
I mean, it's good that he's trying to protect a guest. Just don't complain about the consequences that happen as a result of these actions. You accept responsibility for the people who have fallen under your command. You are a leader, act like it. You harbor a fugitive gnome. That's admirable of you.
The sovereign says nothing, but you hear appreciation in its song.
Planting spores in a corpse. What magic is this?
We breathe life into our enemy's flesh. The dead make a fine host for my growing children.
These spores hold such power. How might I gain this knowledge?
You may not. The spores hear only the circle. They dance to no other harmony.
At any point in the game, you can always make a druid with a subclass Circle of the Spore. I'm of mixed feeling about whether or not it should only be unlocked as a resolution of this quest. I'll cleanse the rot. Those Duergar near the lake will die.
The sovereign gifts you one more vision. A wall of vines parting to reveal glowing light.
Riches of magic and mind. Cleanse the rot, and they are yours. You do the circle a service. We will await word.
Leave. He's going to be reviving these Duergar into more Myconid.
Moving ahead.
We can leave this way, but if we do that, or actually over here, but if we do that, we will miss another person. So we're going to take a different exit out. Also, the first time I went down here, I didn't even know that there was another merchant. I was trying to avoid exploring too much. So if I just walked a little further, I would have found another merchant who's right there. But we'll cover that in a future episode.
Fleshwalker, tongue talker. Far you've come. Reach into memory. Tell me of home.
Bring to mind your oath, a deep well of simmering fury.
It reveals its own home in reply. A humid cove filled with decaying Myconid corpses.
Duergar destroyed my people. I am a sovereign with no circle. This circle does not welcome me. But I have heard the song. You mean to cleanse the Duergar rot. I mean to join you.
Are you sure? It's going to be dangerous.
I am the danger, and I am the cure. They erased my people. I will erase theirs.
What threat do you pose to Duergar?
In death, your foe becomes your ally. I will raise it. You may command it.
You mean to take revenge? A noble cause. Join me.
Remain in the Underdark, and I will follow. We cleanse the rot together.
Alright, with his help, we're going to do a little bit of vandalism in this place. One of the things about the game, so that they can do multiplayer, is you can commit crimes, and as long as it's not your primary character or anything, it probably doesn't really matter. Also, if there are corpses you want to search, but you can't quite do so because it's illegal, bringing them from the dead will turn that into your property. At least in the version of the game I've got. I always feel like I have to add that.
Silence! I am breathing life.
Now, that corpse, he had on him a crossbow. You can't normally equip things with them. If I'm hitting I, nothing happens. If I were to take something from my inventory and say we throw this Svartal Bee Wound Seeker on the floor, I can't get him to pick it up. Nothing. If you want to equip them with stuff, you should do so before you raise the dead.
Very well.
So that one short sword I mentioned, the short sword of First Blood, I actually can have him pick that up. In fact, if I'm still carrying it on this current party, we'll see if... Yeah, it is. Again, this is all with the version of the game I've got. It may change by the time you try to do anything. Wait, it's not letting me pick it up? That's weird. It was letting me pick it up before. Huh, that's weird. Oh, there. Okay, now we can. All right, let's try. Let me try dropping that and see if the Alt command works on this blade too. What about regular weapon? Wait, I probably don't have a. How about this torch? Would you do the same thing with this torch? So you notice the torch just has a regular hand icon, and I'm clicking, nothing happens. This one? Yeah, this one is nothing either. But you'll notice that he now has a short sword of First Blood equipped in one hand and the light crossbow equipped in the other. I don't think it's about equipment slots, because if I were to manage to access his inventory, which is achievable by going to enter turn-based mode, and then opening my inventory now on a normal character, and then ending turn until I get to him. Oh, this window fluctuates depending on the size of the character's hotbar. Hold on. Alright, in turn, in turn, in turn. Now we're on Glut. You normally can't see his inventory. And then here we are on this character's inventory. They don't have a light source, but that's fine. It's red? Why is it red? Alright, I'm not that worried about it. Let's go and pick up my stuff back, though.
Keeping the alternative.
I learned this back in episode 2 when I accidentally picked up something with a mage hand. Alright, so the reason I gave him the short sword, so we're gonna go ahead and smash this, though we need to perceive that this is an actual doorway. We need to pass a perception check. There we go.
That might be worth a look.
Move out of the area real quick.
Okay, I'll catch a break.
And the only criminal will be this dead Duergar. I don't know how far they have to be, but this guy's already probably close enough to tell that I'm going to smash this up. I don't know what's going on there, but... Come on, game. Okay, that was taking a while. Okay, so he didn't like that, but that's fine. It's not the main character.
Can't give up now.
They'll always turn to face that character now, so if I were to position them this way, then I could easily get them to turn around. You're not really supposed to be in this room yet, which is why the corpses count as stealing, but that's fine. And although I've broken in, once I have taken out the Duergar and I am rewarded in this room, to officially complete the quest, you need to actually run inside, even if you've already looted the place. We get the Shadow and Menzo Baranzan. This allows us to have a Shrouded in Shadow class action, which allows me to become invisible at will once per short rest. On the corpse itself, we have some drow poison, a flump mating ritual book, and some alchemy ingredients. This, I don't know what it does, but we should probably hold on to it because it has a description. There's a backpack over here.
Flump mating rituals. An odd book for a drow to carry?
Whoops. I searched the burlap sack. I need to search the backpack. And some scrolls. This corpse actually has realistic information.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
What is this book I found next to you?
The secret to mastering the adamantine forge. Book disguised by magic.
You can still identify the book even if you never talk to this corpse. You just have to pass a skill check. What is the adamantine forge?
Lost workshop of Siluriali. Finest weapons in all creation.
You know where to find the forge.
Dawn knows, but cannot tell.
Where can I find this Dorn?
With spectator won't have gone far.
Good to know your sense of humor lives on. How did you die?
Battle with rival. Summoned spectator.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Adamantine forge. Imagine the blades Gith artisans might craft with such a device.
The cover proudly announces this book to be Flumph Mating Rituals. If the drow's corpse is to be believed, it's something else entirely.
Try to peer through the illusion. Shadowheart casts guidance. She'll break her concentration. We want to use Asterion to concentrate when viable.
The scrutiny proves too much. The lurid text melts away before your eyes. An illusion. What remains are simple instructions written in a spare hand. The secret to forging adamantine.
Alright, just a bunch of flavor text. Maybe it's important, but it just says place the ore and mold into their respective chambers, pull the lever, prepare the ore for smelting, open the valve, allow crucible or lava in the crucible, and drop the hammer.
Have to keep going.
Oh, and that corpse, you would think he's a mage and everything, but if you did capture him, he does have spell slots. He just doesn't know any spells.
No time to rest.
Before we warp out of here, I'd like to break a couple of these mushrooms because it's easy to run into the Tamask plants around here. Like this one, I've been affected by a few times. And of course, it's the dead Duergar they don't like, so we're fine. Let's go and warp out to the beach. If Glut is spotted by the enemy, they will go hostile, but fortunately, our current so-called party leader is actually our drow.
I must keep going.
Both true soul and drow. That slave would jump off a ledge if she knew who was after her.
I've done as you asked. I have the boots.
Oh, look at that. Swift work. You could teach our slaves a thing. You'll want to take those to Sergeant Thrin in the camp.
What's on the other side of the lake?
More like us and a bunch of gnome slaves.
How will I recognize Sergeant Thrin?
Look for a Duergar with bare feet and a face like thunder. You can't miss her. I'll stay back here. See if I can find some more gnomes. A few more, and I reckon I could become a true soul.
Alright. We don't want to move directly in front of us because this is a disadvantageous position for us to battle in. While I can tell Glut to stay put, I want to show him off in battle. We will be moving mostly as a unit up here. I say mostly because the moment they see Glut is when battle begins. We'll go ahead and get ourselves ready. Holding shift, we can see what their sight lines are. Then we're just take Glut, put him in stealth mode, and just send him to buzz off somewhere.
Don't waste a step.
This will buy us some time. Turn around. There's Glut right there. We're going to take the shot first to get the surprise. Yeah, we do have surprise action. Glut has now joined the battle.
Time to kill.
See, he's not actually in battle right now, so we can actually use our oils. And then we can have them join in battle.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
With every breath.
Now, I know the oil is ticking, but that's fine. Come on, I selected him, but it keeps trying to pan my camera everywhere.
Good. Again. Excellent. Keep going.
Alright. So now they all are somewhere in the timeline and frozen in place. He hasn't moved yet in this. He's already down to 28 hit points. Nothing I really need to do with you.
Die, so your carcass can rise.
If he did get to move, he would revive many of the targets around him. His is a special animate dead, as far as I can tell. She doesn't get to do anything because her attack was the action earlier, even though it wasn't at the same time.
Need to stay focused.
Must have been too far for him to counter.
Victory awaits.
Too heavy to shove. Oh, maybe because he's surprised he can't counter. Or, not counter. Opportunity attack. Athletics failed. Lame.
Well, so much for peace.
Sounds like Chewbacca. A single shot. I don't want to spin too. Alright, that was enough. Offhand shot on you.
That won't work.
Ready to deal with that guy.
I will
to me.
Again.
Time for a cull.
Don't linger.
When you climb on the ladder, you're kind of able to collide through people. So if I were holding a line here, the enemy can actually go through me.
Try something else.
Sometimes action surge just seems to last twice in a turn. Oh, thankfully everybody's missing. Oh, that's actually really nice. It took you 3 or 4 swings in order to actually collide. I didn't want to get shoved off.
There's blood in the air.
This will end up killing my guy right here, but that's fine. This one's much better. So I meant to hit R before I did that so I could shoot twice. You don't have cantrips? That's fine. I don't think I really need to... I mean, okay, hold on. Since the video does... since I will be ending these guys' occupation with me for this video, I will go and burn his spells. It's fine. Flying down, maybe that's better. But I would say that if you were playing and you weren't going... You should drag a gut around and any minions that he has with you. Even if she were to walk closer, I don't think it would help that much, because these guys are already out of range. We didn't really get anything done on him, but man, he's really not moving very much, is he? Or to swing at him, that's 85% chance. 70% chance. We'll try this. Let someone keep him busy downstairs. I should shoot before I move in. I just don't think about it until I'm already here. Then make sure I switch back to this so I have my shield and get +1 AC. Nothing that you really need to do. Good hustle. Ah. Not enough movement. I could throw something at him. I could throw my axe at him. Let me do that so I can get my axe back. I mean, so I can keep this axe.
I will ascend.
My issue about running over here is there's a big chasm in that direction, and I really don't want to get shoved off into it.
Fanfare is sung. The rot is cleansed. Come, we must speak.
This guy actually has inventory we want. In order to access it, go through the same mechanics I mentioned earlier. So go ahead and begin turn-based, open your inventory, and then in turn until you get there.
Trust no one.
So he's got the Duergar Antidote. So grab that. Now we're going to talk to Sovereign Glut. You'll notice that he only has these abilities at the moment. And once we talk to him, he evolves.
The tumor is excised. The Duergar are dead. Here I break ground. From the dark will a mighty circle rise. My song will fill the grotto. Death Doer. The grotto may sustain but one sovereign. In the age of Glut, there may be no spore. Eliminate the other sovereign.
Retribution requires righteous cause, Glut. Why betray Spawn?
A fate it has earned. My circle long suffered while the Duergar flourish. I sang to Spore for help, yet it cowered in the grotto and let my people be slaughtered. Choose, Smooth Mind. Help me grow a mighty circle and reap the reward. Or protect the precious poltroon as it waits for the circle of Glut to devour it whole.
I'm going to tell you right now that following along with this plan will make you lose your paladinhood, even as an Oath of Vengeance person, even as the game has given me several Oath of Vengeance dialogues which we've never seen before. However, I do actually support Glut in this, even if he doesn't seem like a very nice dude, because if he's correct, Spawn did nothing and let Glut's people die. Also, Spawn sat at home while Glut went out to help fight. These are all reasons why I think that supporting Glut is useful. It is definitely considered by the game to be an evil action, and I don't care. Our character is neutral evil, this is totally within his alignment. Most importantly, you get loot for this. Why not? Spawn's time is done.
Come then. Bring me to Spore and I will sing its doom. The age of Glut begins.
If you choose not to involve yourself, Glut will attack. However, he's pretty easy on his own. So he may have your companion with him. Something to bear in mind is Glut does actually get more power. He now has things like Tin Mask Spores to befuddle, Bibberbang Spores, which will give you toxins or poison damage, Haste Spores. This is incredible. This is the primary reason why I think you should have him roam with you in the Underdark. But for the purposes of this video, we are just going to kind of keep this into one segment. He can cast that infinitely. There's no resting that needs to happen. He just casts it. I know I may have spoiled it a little bit by saying that this will break your oath, but first off, you can always revert it. And second, I didn't want people to end up playing the game at the same time, in the same way, to suddenly be disappointed that they lost their paladinhood. You can also use this as an opportunity to just straight up ambush him as well. We have leveled up these characters, and I'm experimenting something with Karlach. It didn't turn out the way I had hoped. If we take a look at this window here, we have unarmored defense. This is for the barbarian. Add your constitution modifier to your armor class. Okay. As a monk, she's supposed to add her wisdom modifier to her armor class as well. But when I hover over this, all I get is +4 from Constitution, but nothing from her Wisdom. That's unfortunate, because she should be at 20 right now. Okay. But yes, we're going to wait until Tran has officially become a Fallen Paladin before leveling up. If you want extra dialogue, make sure Sovereign Glut is close enough. And there's a bug that may make this character hostile, which is unfortunate because we could use his spells in this next battle.
It greets you with a harrowing elegy, cheerless as the new moon.
The Duergar are slain. The rot has been purged.
The music shifts, still melancholic, but now streaked with hope.
Do you hear? A new harmony. Serenity. I name you Peace Bringer.
Fragrant spores waft through the air. Your heart swells with bliss with your every breath.
Freely you have given to us. Freely you may take. The Guardian Gate is open already. But perhaps there is still some reward to claim.
So generous is Spore, mighty sovereign. But when I sang my need, I received only silence. You give us nothing. We will take everything!
Peacebringer, what is this?
You named me poorly, Spaw. I bring you death. Before we initiate to that, let's ungroup real quick and move everybody closer. Come on, I clicked.
Charmed, I'm sure.
And then we're going to initiate haste spores. It will probably wear off by the time the dialogue ends, but we can still walk around in it. Condition oath broken. Let's see here. Do we still have haste? No. So we do have to walk around a little bit. He still has haste because when you're in a dialogue, your timers freeze. Otherwise, with a computer like mine, I'd probably die even with Featherfall trying to land in the Underdark.
Damn it all.
We can see that this dude is actually hostile to us right now. That's ridiculous, but whatever. He moves next, so there's no point trying to make him burn his reaction. Guess we'll just go ahead and take our shots now. If I had moved, I would have gotten a shoot again, actually. We'll move a little bit and get the haste spores to kick in. I should have done the draw poison. Alright, let's go ahead and frenzy. Actually, that seems to be a bonus action, so I won't be able to do it this turn, but we can still do a throw. How much damage was that? Look at that! 21 plus 5 plus 6. Throw again. Because we're hasted. Alright. Gale, let's wiggle you a little bit to get you more haste. There we go. And I really like Magic Missile to the nth degree, though this guy does take extra damage from fire-based spells. We could even cast Glyph of Warding, Fire Base. Could I do it without hitting me? Yeah, I could. How much damage would this do? 5 to 40. So we'll say 10 to 80 possible. Let's try it for the big damage. Oh, I think the other dude countered me. He's invisible, he countered me. Alright, we'll cast it again, because we're hasted, so we get to cast it twice. Did I? Yes, it did burn my spell. For scrolls, don't get wasted on a counter spell. So cast again. Hopefully it... It did 60 to the other guy, 38 to the main one. He's almost dead. Tran, I guess you're gonna get the honors. You could Scorching Ray this. You know what? You could still get some haste going on. How much damage would that be? That was 6 to 17. That would definitely look fine, but I want to try for the main hand attack with this axe. This is the Duergar axe. Wow, look at that damage.
King of kings I am. Let this place be sacred. Circle Glut takes root. My spawn will rise and sing of your might. You will be called Kingbringer. Take my gift of song. Cry it low or loud, but cry it proud, Kingbringer. So it is certain, and so you are known.
Spore's old song falters in the Myconid's minds, swallowed by a new rhythm. The song of Glut.
You have served well, Kingbringer. But our work is not done.
You see Glut's old grotto once more, but this time wreathed in flame. Amid the slaughter strides a drow.
Near. This is the one who brought the Duergar blight. Bring me his head, so that I know my new circle is safe.
Look, I'm all for killing him, but what's in it for us?
You're a bloodthirsty one.
It is the circle that thirsts, and Glut must slake. Go! Cross the lake and kill the drow.
Sovereign Glut rewarded us and named us Kingbringer.
A spasm grips your chest. Your strength falters. An emptiness grows within you, Paladin. Something has been lost.
You have broken your oath, Paladin. At the close of day, I will be waiting for you. We have much to discuss.
Winter's Clutches. When the wearer deals cold damage, inflict 2 turns of Encrusted with Frost upon the target, and if I can hit them with 7 or more turns, they take 1 to 4 damage and become frozen, which is enameled in ice and incapacitated. If dealt bludgeoning, thunder, or force damage, the ice shatters in any condition. I don't know if that means that they die with the ice, or it probably doesn't, otherwise it'd be way too powerful, I'd assume. You don't get that if you side with Spall. And if you wanted to loot Spall without making everybody pissed at you, just cast Darkness or something and then grab it. While your oath is broken at the commencement of that battle, if you were to attack him outside of it, such as if the guards were to be mad at you or something, even at the conclusion of that fight, you still get your oath broken. Even though I picked all the Vengeance ones, that's not a trigger or flag or anything like that. It just, that's not the way the Vengeance Paladin apparently. Though I definitely believe that that was very much in line of Vengeance thinking. It isn't in line of the tenets of killing evil. I'm not that worried about the oath breaking. In fact, I think this is actually a kind of a cool way to do it, because this really was a mission all about vengeance. This Oathbreaker, he's level 12. When you kill him, you get something like 640 XP or something, but I killed him using powder kegs. When he fights, he does so much damage, like 30 damage a swing, and he'll swing something about 3 to 5 times. I lost count, but yeah, I just set a bunch of kegs near him, shot it, and he died. You can't loot his body, though. It is some really cool armor and cape. One of the other things to note is you can't talk to withers and reset your character specs while your oath is broken or while you are an oath breaker. However, you can get your oath back by paying 1,000 gold. Penance, I suppose.
I have been waiting for you. I felt the moment of your liberation, the shedding of your bond. You called to me. I am here to show you the way.
The way to what?
A journey with no end, trodden only by the desperate and the damned. It is a path I have walked since the moment I fell. Now, you will walk it too, Oathbreaker. You swore to deliver vengeance, to hunt down those who had wronged, and ensure they felt the sting of justice. Tell me, why did you abandon your oath?
I tired of doctrine and dogma. I wanted freedom.
A shedding of responsibility. To know the reason for your fall is, perhaps, to know the shape of things to come. Take comfort in your undoing. I, like you, abandoned my cause. But much can still be achieved. Your oath is broken. The light within you fades. A new power is awakening.
What oath did you swear?
I served a noble lord. I fought for him without question or restraint. Where his light shone, my sword followed. In his name, I raised villages, put thousands to the sword. I believed our greater purpose required such brutality, such sacrifice. But his light was so radiant, it blinded me to all else. I could not see the darkness and corruption of the path he led me down. When I finally saw the truth, he would not be reasoned with. So I ended him. For this, I was called Oathbreaker.
Do you regret betraying your oath?
Regret is for those who would act differently. I feel no such desire. What's past is past. We are here to discuss your future.
What did you achieve after abandoning your oath?
I wielded the powers of darkness, yet held a candle for those who needed the light. My actions followed no teaching, apart from my own justification. Good or ill, I made my choices. Eventually, I heard the call of others who had strayed. I showed them the way, as I show you now.
Tell me more about these powers.
Darkness will obey your summons. The dead will march to your rhythm. Even now, these shadows gather around you. They sense the cracks in your armor. They yearn to be used, to be inflicted.
Isn't there any way to reclaim my oath?
It is possible. But such a promise must not be made lightly. Wealth must be sacrificed, and your soul repledged. It is wise to first consider what is gained, and what is lost in the bargain. Should you wish to do so, Speak with me again.
I am ready. I will become an Oathbreaker.
Do not resist. Surrender and be remade. Though born of a vile source, these powers can be used for good or ill. Your oath no longer binds you. The choice is yours alone.
We accept. In the corner there, it said level 2 Paladin. I don't think that's accurate. Not at the time I wasn't, anyways. So we level up our Oathbreaker. Now we get to be a level 2 Paladin, and we'll pick Great Weapon Fighting. Our spells look pretty much the same. Our level up seems the same. We get our Divine Smites, which will be born of an evil or vile power, as he says. So instead of... we had something like Radiant Justice or something where we got our allies get radiant damage. We have now Spiteful Suffering. The target takes 4 to 7 necrotic damage each turn, and attack rolls against it have advantage. It doesn't sound as great, and I don't even know if I will stay in Oathbreaker, because I'm starting to also... I'm constantly juggling ideas in my head. And one of the things I'm thinking about is to leverage my critical hits. I now cast 2 beams of crackling energy. That is 2 chances to do critical hits. I did say that in the beginning where we started with a tiefling, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm not totally sold on it because I thought I got a free flame every turn. I thought I got to throw fireballs for free, essentially. What else is there? Oh yeah, we're gonna head back. So we're headed back to the village, and I'm pretty sure this is a bug, but Glut is still in my party, so that's pretty cool. That's fine. That may bug out things later on. This is okay for right now, because I'm just recording this. The reason why I wanted to head back is we switched out Astarion for Will. We brought in Astarion so that we could get the Warmonger inspiration. Even if I don't need the inspiration, and I don't care about the EXP, I like collecting the inspirations. We're now going to talk to Thrulla, and we do have in our inventory the Duergar Antidote. You can use any antidote. You can use the Elixir of Sophanis, you can use just regular antidotes, but this is one specifically meant for this case.
Don't.
Her condition is familiar. Poison, derived from a wild weed common to the Underdark. She'll need an antidote soon, most likely held by the poisoner.
Who did this to you?
Duergar slashed me.
If the Duergar poisoned you, perhaps they had the cure.
Graze. Don't share. Talking hurts. Leave me. Please.
How did you end up here?
Myconids. Took pity on me. Sound lads, especially since the Greys gave him hell for it.
These Myconids are the hospitable sort. Refreshing, after our run-in with Kvorga.
Consider what I know of Duergar poison lore. You only get bliss spores if you pick the first option when talking to Spa. If you kill Glut, you have a second option saying that you did kill him, and that will conclude everything you miss out on bliss spores. However, this does only last till the next long rest.
Like dwarves, Duergar have innate resistance to poison, and thus no need for intricate brews. Though deadly if left untreated, the poison can be cured by the antidote or natural remedies.
Give her the Duergar antidote.
Ah, gods. Whatever
Whatever that is, I needed it. Why are you helping me?
It's always useful to be owed a favor.
I thank you for your help, but I gotta get moving. Oh, Carl's garters. Oh, I don't have time for this. My kin need me.
You're in no condition to help anyone.
Maybe not, but you are. I need you to rescue my kin. We can pay. We're Ironhand Clan, best artificers in Baldur's Gate. We were on an expedition down here when the Duergar snatched us up. I got away, but not the others. The Greys have them digging out some old ruin across the lake.
What are the Duergar digging for?
Some dusty temple. It doesn't matter. They'll work my clan to death before they ever get near it.
What was this expedition your clan were on?
Just mining for materials. Nothing unusual.
The briefest hesitation, but enough. She's lying.
But our work pays well. Help my clan and we'll make it worth your while, I swear.
You're lying. I clicked so many times just to get the next phase.
Fine. It's complicated, but my clan has trouble back in the city. A blood feud. We were searching for something to turn the tide. That's all I can say. But it's worth a lot to us. Understand?
No, I don't understand. Enough evasion and explain it.
Look, you've done me a good turn and you deserve the truth. But that's as much of it as I can tell, I swear it. If you need to go your own way, I respect that, but still, I'm asking.
If I see them on the way, I might help them.
Thank you. Only wish I could go with you. I'll mark where I made my escape, and wait here, I suppose. Not much choice, eh?
Normally she would give you her boots by accepting her quest, but we already helped ourselves. I like that during all the animation she actually doesn't have boots on. But we do get the inspiration for Karlach.
I'm coming along, just not fast enough. Any word on my people?
How long before you're fit to move?
Don't know. Longer than I'd like, but a slow recovery, still a recovery.
Remind me, what was it you wanted me to do?
Like I said, save my kin. And if you kill any Duergar, you won't see any tears from me.
About that, I've killed the Duergar that were hunting you.
I'm almost sorry to hear it. I hope to have the pleasure myself. There's plenty more guarding my people, but I'd say you've made a fine start.
That'll conclude the Underdark episode, Defeat the Duergar Intruders. Thank you very much for watching. Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3. I'll see you next time. This is what the game looks like while it's still loading for me.
Yes?
Stay in camp.
Oh, darling, I'm hurt. I thought we had something special.
I love how the enemy's able to wiggle through my party, just whenever they feel like.
I am pain. I am torment. I am death.
He just got to move, which means his reaction is back, so he can counterspell again. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and burn his counterspell. I still have my scrolls. I had 2 before I used it, and he countered it, and I still have 2.
Breathe deep and move.
What? That's a thing. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't have a good look at that because of the overhead view I had, but that is not a wall. Okay, good to know. That's funny. I like it. It's worth it.